Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, brothers and sisters, listen to me. You will never live beyond the limits of your own thinking. Your body cannot go where your mind refuses to travel. If you keep rehearsing failure in your thoughts, you'll keep repeating it in your life. If you keep seeing yourself small, weak, unqualified, then don't be surprised when the world treats you that way. But if you just dare, to shift your mindset, everything begins to change. See, the mind is a battlefield. The enemy doesn't have to take your house, your car, or your bank account. If he can just take your thoughts, because if he takes your thoughts, he takes your fight. If he takes your thoughts, he takes your future. That's why you must guard your mind like treasure, because the treasure of your destiny is locked up in your thinking. Some of you have been living under the weight of yesterday's mistakes, yesterday's disappointments, yesterday's betrayals. You've been dragging that baggage into every new season of your life. But hear me, you cannot walk into tomorrow carrying the coffin of yesterday. It's time to bury what broke you. It's time to bury what failed you. It's time to shift your mindset. Shift from fear to faith. Shift from excuses to execution. Shift from comfort to calling. Shift from I can't to I will. You've been waiting for the right moment, but the right moment is waiting for you. You've been praying for doors to open, but doors don't open until your mind unlocks. When you shift your mindset, your vocabulary changes, your posture changes, your vision changes. You start walking different, talking different, dreaming different. The only thing standing between who you are and who you were created to be is your mindset, not your age, not your money, not your education, your mindset. So today, make the decision. I will not be trapped by limited thinking. I will not be a prisoner to my past. I will not be defined by what they said about me. I am shifting. I am evolving. I am stepping into everything that was destined for me, because when you shift your mindset, you shift your life. Your life will only rise as high as your thinking allows it to climb. Your life will only rise as high as your thinking allows it to climb. If your thoughts stay low, your life stays low. If your thoughts are chained to doubt, fear, and limitations, you will find yourself living beneath the level of your potential. The mind is like a thermostat. It sets the climate for everything else. You can have dreams in your heart, gifts in your hands, and opportunities all around you. But if your mindset is locked in negativity, you will sabotage every open door. You will talk yourself out of blessings. You will convince yourself that you are not worthy, not ready, not capable, and life will reflect exactly what you keep telling yourself. What you believe shapes what you attempt, and what you attempt shapes what you achieve. When your mindset is small, your goals are small. When your mindset is full of fear, your decisions are timid. But when your mindset expands, your life expands with it. Suddenly you start to see possibilities where you once saw walls. You start to take risks where you once played safe. You start to stand tall where you once bowed low. The higher your thoughts rise, the higher your life can climb. Think of the eagle. It was born to soar above the storm, but if you keep an eagle in a cage, it will forget how high its wings can take it. Some of you have been living like caged eagles, with wings strong enough to fly, but with a mindset trained to stay grounded. Your circumstances do not decide your altitude. Your mindset does. You don't have to accept the ceilings others placed over you. You don't have to live stuck in the labels people gave you. You don't have to believe the lies of never and impossible. The shift begins when you dare to think higher, when you dare to imagine greater, when you dare to align your thoughts with where you want to go instead of where you have been. Every achievement begins in the mind. The inventions that changed history, the businesses that reshaped industries, the movements that shook nations, they all began as thoughts in someone's mind. That means your future is already forming in your imagination. The question is, what are you feeding your thoughts? Are you feeding them with fear or with faith? Are you filling your mind with reasons you can't, or are you filling it with reasons you must? The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your living. When you lift your mindset, you begin to attract higher conversations, higher opportunities, higher people into your life. Low thinking keeps you in low company, low circles, low outcomes. Elevated thinking pulls you into spaces you once thought were beyond you. If you can think it, you can move toward it. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. Life will not outrun your thinking. Your circumstances cannot consistently exceed your beliefs. Your rise is limited or lifted by the ceiling in your mind. And until you decide to push that ceiling higher, you will remain in the same place even while opportunities pass you by. The prison you can't escape is the one you build in your own mind. The prison you can't escape is the one you build in your own mind. There are people walking free, moving through cities, going to work, raising families, yet living locked behind invisible bars. They smile in public, but inside they are trapped. Not trapped by iron gates, not trapped by locked doors, but trapped by thoughts of inadequacy, fear, and failure. The most dangerous prison is not made of stone or steel. It is made of lies you've believed about yourself. It is built out of every you can't, every you're not enough, every this is just the way things will always be. You begin to accept those walls as permanent, and soon you stop even trying to break through. When the mind is imprisoned, the body will follow. A caged thought creates a caged life. You stop pursuing dreams because you've already convinced yourself they're unreachable. You stop seeking better because you've trained yourself to believe this is all you deserve. You stop stepping into opportunities because the bars in your mind whisper that you are not qualified, and what is tragic is not that the door is locked, but that the key has been in your pocket the whole time. The bars of that prison exist only because you keep agreeing with them. A person can have talent but never use it because their mindset says they're not good enough. A person can have resources but never build because their mindset says it's too risky. A person can have vision but never chase it because their mindset says it's impossible. That is how powerful mental prisons are. They don't need to chain your hands, they only need to chain your thoughts. Once your thoughts are bound, your actions become timid, your words become hesitant, and your life becomes smaller than it was meant to be. Consider how many times people have walked away from opportunities not because they weren't able, but because they weren't willing to believe they were able. Consider how many doors stayed closed not because they were locked, but because someone never dared to knock. The mind can be your greatest ally or your greatest captor. If it is filled with fear, then fear becomes the warden. If it is filled with doubt, then doubt becomes the guard. And when you let those guards control you, you start living like a prisoner even while calling it freedom. Yet the same mind that can imprison you is the same mind that can release you. The same imagination that paints bars can also paint open skies. The same voice that whispers defeat can also declare victory. The shift is in what you allow, what you rehearse, what you believe. You cannot always control the thoughts that knock on the door of your mind, but you can control which ones you let move in. If you keep feeding the lies, the prison strengthens. If you start feeding the truth, the walls weaken. Every time you choose faith over fear, you chip away at the bars. Every time you declare possibility over limitation, you push back the boundaries. Every time you decide that your future deserves more than your excuses, you loosen the chains one link at a time. Shift your mindset and you'll shift your future. Shift your mindset and you'll shift your future. Nothing in life changes until your perspective does. You can rearrange your plans, adjust your schedule, and chase new opportunities. But if your thinking stays the same, you'll end up in the same place, wearing a different outfit. Transformation starts on the inside long before it ever shows up on the outside. When your mind shifts, everything connected to you starts to align differently. Your habits shift, your expectations shift, your relationships shift, and even the way you respond to life's challenges shifts. The power to change your direction is hidden in the way you think about where you are. Some people spend years waiting for something external to move before they decide to move internally, but it works the other way around. The door doesn't open until your mindset unlocks it. You can't walk into a new season with an old mentality. You can't carry yesterday's fears into tomorrow's opportunities and expect progress. Life responds to mindset, not to motion alone. You can be busy and still bound. You can work hard but still go nowhere because the weight of wrong thinking keeps dragging you backward. The moment you shift your mindset, momentum follows. When your mindset changes, your language changes. You stop speaking defeat and start speaking destiny. You stop saying, "I can't," and start saying, "I can learn." You stop focusing on what's missing and start recognizing what's possible. A renewed mindset produces renewed energy. Suddenly, the things that once intimidated you start to look like invitations. The things that once drained you start to look like training. That's what happens when you decide that your thoughts will serve your purpose instead of your pain. Every future you desire is already waiting on the other side of a mental shift. Success, growth, healing, restoration, they all begin when you change the way you see yourself. You don't rise by luck. You rise by alignment. You rise by seeing yourself the way your purpose sees you. You rise when you stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a victor. You rise when you stop blaming and start believing. A shifted mindset doesn't deny the pain, but it refuses to be defined by it. It takes the lessons, not the limitations. It turns wounds into wisdom and setbacks into strategies. You can't control every situation, but you can control how you interpret it. Two people can face the same storm, but the one with a shifted mindset will come out stronger while the other sinks. The difference isn't what happened to them. It's how they thought about what happened. A shifted mindset doesn't see problems as punishment, but as preparation. It doesn't see waiting as wasting, but as working. It doesn't see challenges as closed doors, but as classrooms. That shift turns confusion into clarity, obstacles into opportunities, and frustration into fuel. When you shift your mindset, you move from reacting to creating, from surviving to thriving, from being stuck in what was to stepping boldly into what can be.